In the I Am series books that I have been studying since '99, they talk about the Christ consciousness. They use that language as well, but they also say that in its pure form, that is life, in its essence. That is our life force.
Well, that's
but as it comes into the human being through the crown chakra, as you've just been explaining, as that energy comes through the crown chakra, whatever our belief systems are and our conditioning is, alters that purity and makes it discordant. And, you know, if we've got a lot of density, and this is really interesting, this part, we could probably speak about this forever. But it's that then starts to create. We're using that pure life force to create our lives. Until we're aware of that, we're creating unconsciously. And that energy, that pure life force comes through our own filter in our mind and gives us back whatever is in there.
Yeah, that's exactly it's part of what I've written as well.
In your channeling?
In my
great.
channeling. There's a section on that in the second book, actually, which refers to the pineal gland in our brain, which is part of the pineal gland is part of our third eye chakra.
The master gland.
Yeah, is it called the master gland?
Yeah, it's the master gland of the body.
And what happens is the more work we're doing on ourselves, it seems to affect a crystal that exists at the center of this pineal gland, and the more work that we do on ourselves in terms of raising our consciousness and removing whatever's stagnant within us, removing those beliefs which limit us from loving ourselves and everybody around us. When you're doing that work, it affects the way that crystal vibrates. So it'll start vibrating quicker, and that Christ consciousness energy that is being received through the crown chakra is able to be received more purely. And that filter that you're talking about, in our minds, tends to sort of like lessen that, and the signal that we pulse out into the universe tends to be reflected back more purely as well. So yes, absolutely. Yeah, when I was talking about the chakras as well, they are almost they work as filters as well. So the more work that we're doing on ourselves, the more healthy our chakras are. The more healthy we are and our organs are, and the more healthy our universe is as well. So
that's right, and that's really how we do raise ourselves, raise our cellular level, our body, our mind, our spirit up to that higher level, which is going to take us to our first music break. Josh Groban, and here is You Raise Me Up. I love this song, George. It's fantastic.
Yeah, Josh is cool.
He's great, isn't he? Welcome back. You're listening to Mind, Body, Heart and Soul. This is Christine Hart-Savage, and you're listening also to my guest today, George Seraphim, who is the author of The Truth. And you're listening to 88.3 Southern FM. Now, part 2, Christ Consciousness Planned for the Earth. There's so much involved in this, George.
Yeah, it's biblical, really, isn't it?
This whole thing, even with the Mayan Indians, with the calendar.
Yeah.
Saying that the calendar finishes in 2012.
Yeah.
So it's a year that so many of us are interested in because there's something changing in the way we have lived life for all of these years to the way that we're going to live life. And I personally don't believe it is the planet is just going to explode and die.
Yeah,
I think it is a raising of consciousness so that there is a new earth, a new life.
Yeah, there's something I read the other day. It was kind of centered around 2012 being the end of a way of being, for instance, and it's a crossing over into a new age, which is the age of Aquarius. So we're in the age of Pisces now, and we're directly on the cusp between Pisces and Aquarius, and it's going into an age where it's going to be about instead of survival, and survival of the fittest. It's going to be about creation and creating beautiful things and unity. So it's almost, and I sincerely hope that's what it's going to be about. But we've got the main calendar, which is ending very soon. There's also a calendar which is under the Sphinx, which is written on a tablet, which was, I don't know how old that is, but that also ends at the same time the main calendar ends as well. And I think various other calendars in different dynasties and cultures end around this time as well. I don't believe it's an end of the world scenario. It's about and it's got a lot to do with the Christ consciousness energy that's been streaming into the earth since the late 60s. But that energy actually started streaming into the earth, when Christ was here teaching and when he died. And then, but mostly, it started from the late 60s. There was like a shower of indigo souls, which came to Earth around that time, and the shower of indigo souls actually started way before then, but the main shower was in the late 60s, early 70s, where we had millions of beings being born into this earth who were of higher consciousness, who were aware of the God spark, who had some sort of a yearning within them, to begin healing modalities, to begin, they've got almost like this.
Well, there's been quite a bit written on these children that came in.
Yeah.
The indigo children, and then the crystal children.
We've got the indigo children, and then after that, there was the crystal children, then the rainbow children.
I don't know much about the rainbow children. So are they the latest?
I think they're the latest
upgrade, so to speak.
The latest. It's like it's gone from DOS 6.0 now to where Windows XP.
So they say they have more strands in their DNA. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
So do you know much about?
I met a rainbow soul the other day. Actually, I did a reading on her.
Okay. So how old was this person?
She was actually she was 30 years old.
Oh, I didn't think they came in that long ago. Okay.
Yeah. She was 30. And I picked up that she was a rainbow child, and she was a natural leader, and they've got this ability to lead. They've got this beautiful ability to lead beautifully and to lead with unconditional love and inspire all those people around them. They've got this, it's a very different vibration. It's not of earth or anything like that. It's a very high vibration. I think I'm an indigo soul. I'm pretty sure I'm an indigo soul because the things that I've read about indigos, we've got this very strong, deep inner yearning to help, save the world almost, So there's a lot of us out there. It's how the Christ Consciousness Plan. It's part of how the Christ Consciousness Plan works with this showering of souls coming into the earth, and the vibration of these souls causes like a new blanket to be spread all over the earth, which slowly filters out, what's not in line with that energy. So the people that are, born into that world of that vibration, are usually born into families, and they could be the only one in the family. They could have feelings of being, not feeling, part of the family. They tend to, have a lot of issues like that, and if there's anybody out there that feels, not very connected to their family or friends or this or that, you could be a healing soul, somebody who's come in to go against the grain, to live a virtually sort of different life.
It's a very hard journey being the black sheep to There's so much to break through for those people, for those souls, but they're leaders in their own way, lifting consciousness.
But they've come in too also to experience the Christ consciousness themselves. So they have to get to that point where they receive that mark on their heart, and consciously though, because they've come in already with bearing that mark, and they're there for their families, like, and their friends, to assist those around them to feel that divine loving energy and that divine loving spirit that they know to be the way of life. So they get dotted around all over the earth, and they get put into families, and obviously feeling like black sheeps, but it's just a higher. It's like a new intelligence that's just come into Earth and helping raise the consciousness of Earth through people. That's how the Christ consciousness plan sort of works.
So there's so much human density on our planet at the moment, and I suppose bit by bit over the years it has been being lifted to a new vibrational energy, but there's still a lot of density, and this is the work that we all need to be doing. This year is a good year, if we haven't started, to actually release that density, because it can feel like you're trying to move forward a lot of the time, but it's like something's stopping you. And as they describe in some of the I Am books, it's a bit like you hit a brick wall and you just don't seem to be able to go through that wall. You keep getting stuck in different parts. But when you actually learn to sit still and learn to draw in that Christ consciousness or that life energy into the body, it helps to, it's like a ray of light that comes in. It's part of you, it's part of your life force, and it dissolves that density. It starts to dissolve it. And bit by bit, you will become clearer and clearer. And of course, then we go into a state of harmony instead of disharmony.
Yeah. It's interesting how that stuff comes up. Like you'll you could wake up one day and you're not feeling right, and some issue that's been there your whole life has come up, and you're finding it very hard to move through that, to move forward through that. So it's almost like you've just got to sit there and be with yourself and really go into a dialogue with yourself and be very, very, very authentic about what it is, what's there.
It's about really getting real, isn't it?
Yeah, really getting real, and then
not judging yourself either.
Yeah.
Being really, really like your best friend, being very kind to yourself and not judging what's going on within you, because it does take great courage to actually start looking at yourself and opening up.
Yeah, exactly. I personally, the last week actually, I've kind of been experiencing something like that as well. So, and it was only like yesterday or the day before where I told myself, look, just come from this from a loving space and move through it, and don't judge myself and don't be too hard on myself, because I can tend to be a little bit of a perfectionist.
Yeah, and it's great if we can do that with ourselves and the other people around us, because it's really just all about expansion and becoming more. So when these light rays come in, we do literally become lighter, and in that lightness and that stillness we end up experiencing what peace is. And peace is just so important.
Yeah.
So enjoy Peace Train by Cat Stevens. Welcome back. We're discussing Christ consciousness. George, the other thing I just wanted to talk about around accessing the Christ consciousness is the harmony in the feelings. One of the most important things is to be able to keep harmonized and really peaceful in the feelings. And it is a hard thing. It actually is something that we need to practice day to day.
Yeah.
Because as soon as the feeling goes into some sort of discord, and you'll know that because you get that awful twisted feeling in your gut on some level, we're actually drawing or accumulating more density in the body. and blocking off that beautiful Christ energy or life force, that intelligence that we want to bring into the body. So maintaining harmony. And that's where it's difficult, because it's about not putting your attention on the external world or the event, but actually bringing your attention back into yourself